So Liz Riles from His Radio, Rob and Lizz in the morning, is going to give her daughter snacks
We
at
did.
work.
We took her snacks.
You actually did this?
Yes.
Why?
I put together like a little bag of things from my house, little snacky snacks, and then we ran by QT and picked up a couple of different things and then took it to her at work.
She's a grown adult.
She is a grown adult.
Who can get her own snacks.
But she's also on a 12-hour nursing shift.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So then I get a text from my son earlier that day that had said, could I get a goat?
A real goat?
A real goat.
Why?
I don't know. And I said, sure. When you move out, you can get anything you want.
Of course.
Not in my house. And then he said, well, how about a dog? I'm like...
You have 2 dogs at the house.
I'm like, you're 22. Why are you asking me for a goat?
A goat and a dog.
And a dog. But I get these rando texts all the time. He said, can you go in your closet and take a picture of that Braves jersey you have?
For what reason?
So
Did
he's
he give
going
you
to
a
a
reason?
Braves game, but I mean, still, it's like, he wants to borrow it for his girlfriend. He wants to borrow mine for his girlfriend, but the back of it says Riles.
He wants her to see it.
He wants her to wear it.
Yeah, but he wants her to see it before she wears it,
right,
sounds
exactly.
like.
But
Okay,
she
I
was,
get the picture now.
But she was at my house yesterday. But it's just like I had just settled in for a long night's nap, you know, and could you go in your closet and take a picture?
Those are random.
I'm like,
wow.
What is happening?
I don't know if
Why?
Liz is the only one, but if you get rando texts, I'd like to know about it.
I would love to know because I feel like I'm on this island by myself. And it's just my kids that are weird. And weirdly, you know, I love them. But these are weird texts. Can I get a goat? No.
Good morning, all. So, Liz, you're talking about your kids sending you random things or asking you random things. My daughter calls me yesterday from Houston. She's a student out there. And randomly, out of the blue, she calls and she says, Mom, what's my favorite cookie? I go, really? And she goes, yeah, what's my favorite cookie? And I go, Snickerdoodles? And she goes, what's my other favorite cookie? I go, sugar. And she goes, bam!
Just like that.
Like what?
Liz got like a random text from one of her sons that wanted a goat.
Yeah, it was just, hey, can I get a goat? What?
Right?
What are you talking about?
That's wild.
So, and I get these kinds of texts all the time. Yvonne said, look, you're not alone. I get random texts from my kids all the time, too. Think of it this way. You have such a wonderful relationship with your kids. They know they can reach out anytime for anything, and they know you will be there no matter how big or how small they ask. They know you'll respond, and that's love.
Yeah, that's why they ask for goats.
Because they know I'm going to respond. He knew what I was going to respond. He knew I was going to say no.
You just playing with you?
Right. Well, I think he was, maybe setting me up to then ask me for a dog. And I said, yeah, sure. When you move out, you can have anything you want. I don't care what you have, snakes, whatever.
See? That's spoken like a real mom.
Yeah.
Here's another open mic from the My HISRadio app.
Speaking of goats, our Hope, she's my favorite goat, had 2 baby girls about 2 weeks ago. Just let me know and we'll be able to sell them. Have a great day.
Oh, well, look at that. Gonna hook up your son with a goat.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
I don't know if you saw this, but Brandon Lake just had the opportunity to baptize one of his kids.
Oh, it was so sweet. They're in the ocean. It's Bo. It's just so sweet that you get the opportunity to do something like that. To be
Right.
there for the baptism. And he said, now I get to celebrate that, you know, my boy has this relationship with Jesus.
And it was in the ocean.
Yeah.
So I guess they were on vacation and they were at the beach somewhere.
Must have been. He didn't give a whole lot of details. Brandon didn't on like his Instagram post other than celebrating the fact that he was able to baptize his own son and he has that
so
relationship.
Good. He's from Charleston.
Yeah.
Has led worship in Charleston at Seacoast Church. And so, I mean, there's beaches along Charleston.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
could
at
have
the
just run
Folly
down
Beach,
the road. Yeah.
You know?
Who knows?
But how great is that, especially when it's your kids and they're that young? Because let me tell you, it's getting younger and younger when it comes to the time window of somebody accepting Christ in their heart. Because the older you get, the harder it is, especially in this society, for somebody to really grasp a hold of the reality of who Jesus is. And so for this to happen for his young son at such a young age and be able to baptize him in the ocean. Hello.
Right? And just knowing that he has that forever relationship with Jesus and nothing will ever separate them.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
How about cleaning your bathroom in 60 seconds? It sounds like a dream come true.
It does sound like a dream come true. And I think the woman who came up with this, she's kind of misleading us just a little bit.
Kinda, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, because what she says is do these many small tasks like every single day. And so after you brush your teeth, you're kind of cleaning up the area. And, if you get any stuff, any toothpaste on the mirror, then go ahead and clean that up.
I do that anyway because I don't like it on the mirror.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So you're still not spending 60 seconds. You may be spending 60 seconds right then in that moment, but it's not like you can get your entire bathroom clean in 60 seconds.
No, because there still needs to be the tub, the shower, the toilet,
yeah.
all the things that still need to be cleaned. That's not all going to take you 60 seconds to do.
No.
I understand, do it in the moment. If you have toothpaste grime in your sink, clean it up.
Right.
If the hair after the guy shaves, clean it up.
Clean.
That kind of stuff. Don't let
Right.
it stick around for so long.
Right. Almost every single day in the shower, I clean the shower. Like I just do.
Amy does the same thing, my wife.
Yeah, and that way you are kind of pre-gaming. You're getting ahead of the grime that could be there. Now, I only do like a section at a time, but because I ain't got all day in there, got to get things done, got to get to work. But at the same time, just a little bit. Yes, she's right in that fact, but no, she's wrong. You will not get your bathroom clean in 60 seconds.
It's a nice dream.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Maybe you didn't know this about my background, but when I was a teenager, I was orphaned and I was thrown to the streets. And so I had to learn how to live on my own in the streets. I went to a lot of food pantries. So there was Spam and raviolis and all these other things that I would get. Ramen noodles. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say that wrong. Ramen noodles. So there was all the things that I could get that I could eat as a homeless kid in the streets. It was this Pinellas Park Baptist Church. That's where one of the main
the
food
food
pantries that I
pantry.
went to was that. Then I started reading about this grocery store in San Francisco and how they're giving away free groceries to low-income families, but not like what I was mentioning, not like from a food pantry where I get the Spam, or I used to get the Spam. It's like the full thing to help feed a family.
And it sounds like it because it's a grocery store, you have a little more control because I know a lot of food pantries will do, here's the box, and it has those staples, peanut butter, rice, ramen, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I like how this store is operating to help out the needy because they have milks and eggs and fresh vegetables and the tortilla chips and the canned beans and all the other stuff to really help out families have some good meals.
Yeah, but if you don't like beans, you can get something else. Or just say, I don't need that this time. My family won't eat it, and then it doesn't go to waste if it's just kind
Exactly.
of prepackaged. So I like that. They're using their resources and yet giving people a little control. Because that's one thing. If you're on, different government programs or homeless or whatever the case is, there's not a lot of control in your life. But at least for this, you have just a little sense of control.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Let's see. We now have on the Hallmark Channel a Kansas City Chiefs Andy Reid kind of Christmas. What?
Whoever said Hallmark didn't take advantage of things that are happening in pop culture, and they are. It's going to be called a Chiefs love story, and I think there's the plot is there is a super fan who is, I think, the girl, and then the guy works for the Chiefs. And so you're going to also get some cameos by people like the coach, Andy Reid, and Mama Kelsey. Mama Kelsey's in this one.
Is she really?
Yeah, well,
what's she gonna do?
They couldn't afford Taylor Swift.
No.
They couldn't afford Travis Kelsey or Jason Kelsey.
Of course not.
So I don't know. Maybe she's going to play matchmaker. I don't know. I don't know what she's going to do, but it's, of course, going to be on the Hallmark Channel when they start their Christmas
Good
stuff.
for them.
I
What's
know.
the other channel that does Christmas?
Great American Family.
Yeah, okay. Because there's a lot of those that used to be on Hallmark, the stars at least, that went over to Great American Family.
Well, because Hallmark not lining up so much with some of the family values, and so that's why a lot of the stars have migrated over to
Like
Great
Candace Cameron Bure.
Yes, she's on Great American Family, and I think she has 2 or 3 movies that are coming out this year.
Just Honestly, I don't get into those movies anyway.
Yeah, I can't see you curled up with a hot chocolate.
No.
And a big soft
I
cozy
just,
blankie.
sorry, I just can't do it.
I don't know why.
You know,
They're so like
Put on Terminator and I'm in.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
What a weekend, huh? We hear first about some of these famous people that have passed away. I don't know if you ever watched Alf. It was like a sitcom in the late 80s, rerun in the 90s. A lot of people in their mid-30s and 40s watched Alf. But the kid on Alf, his name is Benji Gregory. He passed away.
Yeah, he played Brian on the show.
The
I think.
little
Yeah,
son,
the little
yeah.
boy. Yeah.
And then Richard Simmons.
Yes.
Over the weekend passed
Yeah.
away. And then the Shannon from 90210, who has been battling breast cancer for, what, a year now?
Oh my god, no, longer than that. I think she went into remission and then found out that it had come back. But yeah, Shannon Doherty, she played Brenda on 90210. I used to watch it back in the day.
I'm sure you did.
I know.
I stayed far away from that
I'm
show.
sure you did.
And then Saturday with the rally and
Oh, my goodness.
in Pennsylvania, what a I was glued to the news ever since I heard what was
Right.
going on.
Yeah, we were in the middle of watching, I don't know, a baseball game or so. I can't remember. And so I'm like, turn on the news, turn on the news. We got to see what is happening. And then just the pictures and, of course, people that were there talking about what had happened. Just unfathomable.
And then that fire man who blocked all the stuff that was coming toward them. I'm thinking of the kids that could be in
Yes.
your family, so I don't want to say too much, but you know exactly what happened. But there was a man who gave his life to protect his family.
He did. He, covered them with his own body, shielded them. And there were others in the crowd that did the
That
same
got hurt
thing.
and-
Unfortunately, he was in the line. So
And no longer with us. But I read some of the posts from his family, especially his daughters, and he was a God-fearing man. He loved Jesus with all his heart, and he wanted to make sure his family was going to survive what was coming.
right,
He did.
I saw an interview with the fire chief that he worked with, and he was saying, it's unconscionable. Like I can't even believe this is reality, and he was God-fearing and just a hero.
So we're definitely praying for that family and for our nation today, right along with you.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I'll be completely honest, I never heard of Lake Jackson, Texas, but it seems to be a place after Hurricane Beryl that was in some desperate need of help. And so there is an organization, and they're called Kansas City Operation Barbecue Relief. Doesn't that sound good?
It does sound good.
I mean, when you're dealing with, maybe the loss of your home and your livelihood, because who knows if your office is still standing because of this hurricane that came through, this organization was able to identify Lake Jackson as they have an immediate need right now. And you have to kind of service those immediate needs, which is going to be food. So they went in and they are distributing somewhere between 10,000 and 15,000 meals per day.
Of BBQ?
Yes, of barbecue. And
That
all,
helps bring a little healing.
right, and all the fixings. I mean, what can cornbread not heal,
I know, right. Well, I'm so glad they're glad they're doing it. What do they call it? Operation something, right?
Operation Barbecue Relief.
Barbecue relief. I love that.
Right. And so, it takes so many different types of organizations to jump in and fulfill these needs. If you just have one organization that's showing up, somebody's going to slip through the cracks. And so if you can cover it and multi-layer it, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, and there's all these other needs just to get a good barbecue meal, at least for one of them. That kind of helps a little bit of the sting for a moment, at least.
Well, it does. In that moment, if you can have comfort food, and man, that's what barbecue is.
Yeah.
It lets you know that things are going to get back to normal.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I don't know. I mean, they found an exoplanet. I don't know if you've ever heard of an exoplane, an exoplanet, but this is like a planet that's outside of our solar system that might be able to sustain life because they see that there is liquid that's on this planet.
Okay.
So they don't know if it's frozen, if it's not frozen, but they found it. It's the size of Neptune, this planet, and they think it might be able to hold some life.
That would be pretty awesome.
Right?
To find out. Neptune. I want to say Neptune is a smaller planet, but if it has water, they always say, you got to have, obviously, water for life. So it depends on lots of different things, but water
Hydrogen and helium, I'm reading, for the atmosphere.
I'm not a scientist. I'm not sure. I know we need those things.
But they say that's unsuitable for life. So that's its atmosphere, but it has liquid, so there might be some possibilities.
Okay, but it's not suitable for our life, but it still could have other life, correct?
I guess.
I don't.
I'm not a rocket scientist. I couldn't tell you these things, but it's a big deal.
Oh, I would think so,
For
especially
NASA.
if they're putting it out there, and letting us hear about it. Tells me they're going to explore it a little more.
48 light years away.
Wow.
So it's not going to be like in a minute we're going to be relocating or anything like that.
Well, no. I mean, we haven't even figured out, and I'm not putting us down for this, but haven't even figured out how to relocate to Mars yet and sustain life or the moon. So, yeah, it's going to be a minute.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Here's the scenario. The kids can't have root beer. Grandma or grandpa, it's
yeah.
grandpa. Grandpa's like out back and he's sneaking the kids root beer.
Yeah, Mom posted about it and said, I found Pop behind a bush giving the kids root beer. Triplets. And they are just like waiting for their little turn to get a little drink.
Doing a little dance.
They are. And listen, I feel like Mom is about to take them home because Grandpa knows better than to give them root beer on his watch.
Yeah.
He's going to send them home.
He's going to send them home. They're all full of sugar. These triplets are going to be bouncing off the walls. And they look like just a little bit older than toddlers.
Right. Maybe three maybe
or four.
something like
out of
that.
the diapers at least.
Right. Probably pull-ups, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it could go wrong in a lot of different ways. And as a grandma, as a bidda, I understand wanting to give them certain things because you want to see them try some icing or try something like that. But the mom and dad says no sugar.
Yeah,
It's very
because,
difficult.
you got to put yourself in the parents' shoes. It's like, listen, you do that, they come home, I can't get them to bed.
Right. But it's so much fun to watch them try icing for the first time and their little eyes light up, or a popsicle.
We see what kind of grandma Liz is.
Look, when my babies get a little bit older, I'm going to have a special bit of drawer that's going to have some treats in there.
See?
Yep.
And what does your daughter Taylor think of that?
I don't know. I haven't asked her.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Maybe you didn't know this about my background, but when I was a teenager, I was orphaned and I was thrown to the streets. And so I had to learn how to live on my own in the streets. I went to a lot of food pantries. So there was Spam and raviolis and all these other things that I would get. Ramen noodles. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say that wrong. Ramen noodles. So there was all the things that I could get that I could eat as a homeless kid in the streets. It was this Pinellas Park Baptist Church. That's where one of the main
the
food
food
pantries that I
pantry.
went to was that. Then I started reading about this grocery store in San Francisco and how they're giving away free groceries to low-income families, but not like what I was mentioning, not like from a food pantry where I get the Spam, or I used to get the Spam. It's like the full thing to help feed a family.
And it sounds like it because it's a grocery store, you have a little more control because I know a lot of food pantries will do, here's the box, and it has those staples, peanut butter, rice, ramen, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I like how this store is operating to help out the needy because they have milks and eggs and fresh vegetables and the tortilla chips and the canned beans and all the other stuff to really help out families have some good meals.
Yeah, but if you don't like beans, you can get something else. Or just say, I don't need that this time. My family won't eat it, and then it doesn't go to waste if it's just kind
Exactly.
of prepackaged. So I like that. They're using their resources and yet giving people little control. Because that's one thing. If you're on, different government programs or homeless or whatever the case is, there's not a lot of control in your life. But at least for this, you have just a little sense of control.